कैसी हो? we'll Prem Namaste to our Panditji. Prem Namaste to you, ladies and gentlemen, and to our dearly departed and the bereaved family. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Samantha, and I am the eldest daughter-in-law in the family. I would like to start by offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our Lord Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. I want to thank you. I think most of you have already been to the house, and forgive me. Please indulge me. A lot of what we're going to say will be repetition of what we've said at the home already. And forgive me, I don't have my glasses, so I don't know what I'll be reading. It'll probably come all from my head. It's a very somber occasion today when we bid farewell to the matriarch of the HARBHAJAN family. Most of you, fondly known to most of you as Pravita. But may I ask someone to just close the door, please? Fondly known as Pravita, but birth name as PARVATHY HARBHAJAN. She lost her husband on the 21st of July 2013, Mr. Krishnal HARBHAJAN, and she is survived by her 3 sons, Yuvan, Vernon, and Ranil, and their wives, myself, Colleen, and Kerisha, and 5 grandchildren, Yuvir, Ayush, Sayuv, Sahana, and Arav. We want to say a very heartfelt thank you for those of you who have been both at the home and who have come here today. We know many of you have traveled from, out of province, and, even if you've come from locally, we are very, very indebted to you and grateful to you for all that you've done to make the sacrifice of coming here and listening so intently to all that we have to say. We have 3 speeches today. I'll start off. And then we've got one of the senior members of the HARBHAJAN, representing the HARBHAJAN family, fondly known to me as Auntie Ragni, someone who I love and adore. So she will come and deliver her tribute to my late mother-in-law. And then lastly, we've got Ranil, who wants to say a few words. Unfortunately, Vernon and Yuvan are not in the right space of mind, frame of mind, to deliver their words, parting words to their mum, but we will hopefully capture most of it in today's speeches. We've also got tributes from my sister in Australia and from a niece in Johannesburg, and we will read those out too. So as you all know, my mother-in-law was called to rest on the 6th of April. Yuvan and my boys, I'm sure most of you know, Yuvan and my boys, I have recently moved to Melbourne, and it was a priority for us to make the journey to get here and to say our final farewell, even though we spent quality time with my mother-in-law a few months ago in December. To say this last couple of months for us has been difficult is an understatement. My mother-in-law always said, Sam, when I die, I want you there and I want you to deliver the tribute, and I know all the good things you're going to say about me. And I think there are very few mothers-in-law in the room that can confidently say that to their daughters-in-law. And that is testament not to my character, but testament to her character, her deep love, her kindness, and everything else that she embodied. So how do I say goodbye to a woman who I have known since I was just a little girl? I have known her since I was a teenager. Yuvan and I met at the age of 13. And back in the day, we were still school friends and studying together. And my mother-in-law adored me even from those early days. And I think Bianca sitting here will know how she used to come into the room, Aji used to bring coffee and biscuits for me, thinking I was Yuvan's girlfriend, but I was just literally his study mate at that time. So I think Bianca would remember those days very well. In fact, I met Yuvan when I was my youngest son's age, which is 13. She is a woman who showed me nothing but the greatest love of all, unconditional love, my entire life, the past 34 years. She was absolutely not a mother-in-law to me. She was like a second mother. She treated me with kindness, love, and respect. She never judged me. She allowed me the freedom to express myself and to be exactly who I am, loud, boisterous, sometimes a bit too much. When I would share, she celebrated every success. She supported me in every decision I made. And when I would share my experiences of her with my friends like Ria and Bash and all of these other girls, they would look at me with envy and say, Sam, you are so blessed. You are so blessed to have such a wonderful mother-in-law. How did you get so lucky? And even my sisters would often say, you're so blessed. My mother-in-law was the epitome of kindness and softness. She was the most gentle, caring, loving woman. She never used a harsh word on anyone or to anyone. She always spread love and cheer and laughter. She always greeted everyone with a smile and with laughter. She opened her house and her heart to anyone in need, family members and friends alike. She would provide the comfort, the love, and the support they needed so desperately during their difficult times. And I think many of you here can attest to that. She was never one that was concerned with aspiring for material wealth. She lived a simple and humble life, and she tacitly inculcated that value in each of her children. A desire to show love, a desire to not want for material things in life. She had absolutely no malice or ill intent toward anyone. She had a very pure heart of gold. She was a devoted and faithful wife throughout her life. She followed her husband Krishan Lal around the country as far as his work as a teacher and principal would take him. She was happy to support him, and she stayed home and took care of her four sons, Nolan, Yuvan, Vernon, and Ranil. And she was the full-time mother and caregiver. She did absolutely everything for her boys. She was the perfect homemaker. Her boys knew that they would come home to a delicious after-school treat like a homemade cake, scones, or a pudding. As a loving wife, she unfailingly nursed her husband even in his final years after he suffered recurrent strokes that left him bedbound. She showed so much of care, love, and compassion and dedication to him and lived up to her marital vows until the very end. She was the ultimate role model and the perfect wife. She was undoubtedly the backbone of the Harbhajan family, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. She tragically lost her eldest son, Nolan, at the tender age of 24 in a tragic motor vehicle accident. She held the family together at a time when all they could do was fall apart in the aftermath of that devastating crisis. She was the glue that held them all together. She was the constant in a turbulent sea of insurmountable challenges that the family faced shortly thereafter. She was a pillar of strength to the family. She never stopped loving, she never stopped giving, she never stopped encouraging and supporting. The boys always felt the warmth, her love, everything that a mother offers. They cherished having her as a stay-at-home mom. She was always there to cheer them on in all their endeavors in life. And this culminated in all of her sons achieving resounding success. And I'm not talking about academic success and degrees. Of course, everyone, all of them have that. But I'm talking about success as human beings, of being kind and loving and responsible young men, men that went on to have their own families, marry their own wives, and have their own families and children of their own. Many of the boys, all of the boys, inherited her quiet disposition, her gentle, loving nature, which is manifest in the manner in which they raise their own children today. I always marvel and proudly boast and compliment all three of them, Ranil, Vernon, and Yuvan, on what phenomenal fathers and husbands and sons they are. Her legacy lives on in each of her three boys. And as if being the most indulgent mother-in-law wasn't enough, when she became a grandmother 18 years ago, when Yuvir was born, she proved to be the most doting grandmother ever. And not just to Yuvir, but to every single one, Ayush, Sayub, Sahana, and her last youngest grandson, Arav. She was always spoiling them, not only with with their favorite meals, but also surprising them with a new toy or an item of clothing, or sneaking them a little cash when we weren't watching, or loading them with lots of sweets, despite us chastising her. The children just loved going to visit Aji because they knew she would always spoil them. Yuvir, Sayub, Ayush, Sahana, and Arav will definitely miss her soft, loving presence in their lives, and the beautiful times they spent with her will remain treasured memories they will carry with them for the rest of their lives. Yuvan often felt, there were many times that Yuvan was alone in Durban, and he would just go to his mum's house, tuck underneath the blanket and lie on the sofa. And he felt so calmed by her soothing presence, her loving, gentle touch and smile. He would, he, Yuvan assumed the role of the eldest son after the passing of his brother Nolan, and he made sure his mother's and father's every need was always catered for. Even Renil and Vernon played such an important role in her life. Renil was always her favorite. We always teased him that he was the daughter she never had because he was such a cute little baby boy. And we always said, Renil shares a very special bond with his mother. And he'll be able to tell you more about that when he speaks later today. But today I stand here really proud to be Yuvan's wife, proud to be the daughter-in-law of the family, proud that my husband has been raised by such a wonderful mother and father who instilled such phenomenal values, good qualities as a husband. All three boys exhibit all of those wonderful qualities instilled in them by mom and dad. Renil and Vernon assumed many of the caregiver responsibilities for their mum in her final months, with Yuvan and I being away. And they were supported unfailingly by Kerisha and Colleen, who, despite having young children, made my mother-in-law a priority. My mother-in-law was also cared for by carers who I've mentioned earlier, who we are forever indebted to in her final days, Tolakele, Pakamile, and Amanda. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank them for the love that they gave my mother-in-law in her final days. As a mother-in-law, and I know you're getting bored, so I'm going to end very soon, but as a mother-in-law, there was nothing we didn't talk about. I think, a lot of people would shudder to think of some of the stories my mother-in-law and I would share. She inspired me to be a better mother-in-law. And one day, even though I'm so attached to my boys, I want to be the mother-in-law that she was to me, giving me that love and comfort and treating me like a daughter. And that's the secret to having the best relationship with your mother-in-law. We got along like a house on fire. We would sit till the late hours of the morning, till 2, 3 a.m., sharing stories, speaking about naughty things that mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law never ever speak about. We would share, she would tell me how to make different things. I learned so much from my mother-in-law. Nothing was off the table with her. We would chat about everything. It was a very special relationship. She watched me grow from a 13-year-old girl into a 47-year-old woman that I am today. And whilst our personalities were vastly different, she taught me so much. I'm quite a loud, boisterous, hyperactive individual, and she slowed me down. She guided me. She nudged me along the way and molded so many aspects of who I am today. I would absolutely be failing in my duty today if I neglected to mention one of the most memorable attributes, and definitely one in which her legacy will live on. My mother-in-law was undoubtedly the spice queen. I don't think there's a single person seated here today that cannot attest to the delicious cuisine she churned out of her kitchen every single day. You could say that food was her love language. Anyone who entered her home never left with an empty belly or without a full container of food to take home. She was the biryani queen, the roast queen, the pickle queen. She was the culinary queen, a culinary master, no doubt. I always blamed her for even having such high standards and expectations of me in the kitchen. I learned so much from her. I still remember every time she taught me how to make a biryani or a roast or pickles, everything. She taught me everything I know. So make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, that while we shed our tears today, these are not tears of sadness and remorse or regret. We know that she is now free of pain and in a better place. Our tears that we shed are in commemoration of the great times we have shared together and the profound sadness that comes from knowing we will never have those moments again. The last few months have been intensely painful for the family as a whole, and we take solace in the knowledge that she is now resting eternally. And all that remains is for us to pray that her Atma achieves moksha and she is reunited with her husband and her son Nolan. I thank you. Om Shanti Shanti. I will now call upon Auntie Ragni to deliver a tribute on behalf of my mother-in-law.
The mic is on.
That mic is on, but this mic is also.
Oh, thank you. Just help me put it on. Thanks, Samantha. Thank you.
Too high.
Just adjust it a little. Om Shanti, everyone. This is a very sad moment for us all as we bid farewell to our dear, sweet, departed soul, Pravita. Actually, it's farewell for now, but I am sure that we shall meet again in some future birth as we are eternal souls on a timeless journey. Our connections don't end here. They transcend time, space, and form. Just a little reminder for us all. According to our scriptures, we all are guests here, playing our parts for a temporary period. When our parts are over, we have to exit this world to play the next role. She came not by chance, but to enrich the lives of all those she came into contact with in her own special, quiet way. This is the drama called life. We all have to walk this journey. I, personally, always admired her humility, her quiet nature, patience, tolerance, and her ability to accept whatever situation came before her with a sweet smile. She would never complain about anything. She was a true reflection of silent strength. Even in difficulty, she remained accepting and open, choosing peace over resistance. She bore her illness with dignity, respect, and grace. Her home was always a sanctuary of warmth. She always welcomed all with so much of love and care. She had a very generous nature, and I cannot remember ever leaving her home empty-handed, or even her visiting me without something to share. I am sure that many of us here will remember her delicious pickles and her divine sweet treats she always gave from the heart. One of the things that I will cherish most is how she always remembered Nashie's birthday every year without fail. She would always send something thoughtful, useful, for always filled with love. To me, she will always be a loving sister, a true caring friend, and a confidant. She was not much of a talker, but a very good listener. And when she spoke, she gave good, supportive advice. I was fortunate to have received such support from her. Let us all here be very proud to have known this beautiful soul and to have been part of her history, for she leaves a warm essence of hope and love in us all. All my love, blessings, and good wishes for you for your next journey. Prabita, may God's guiding light and protective hands always be with you. I will miss you, but I am confident that you will add so much value and love to the souls that you meet on your way. May you continue to shine just as you did here. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Ragini, for those very sincere and heartfelt words of appreciation. I'm just going to read, the three grandsons are going to come up for literally just a minute, and just give their final parting messages to their grandmother. So come, boys, in any order.
I would like to say that we're going to miss you, Auntie, a lot. And every time that we used to go to your house, we would either get a packet of chips or something to eat, and we would never leave Auntie's house hungry. Or every time we used to go there, we used to get food to take home or something to take home. And I remember every time I used to go there after school, she would either make me caramel popcorn or something to eat when I came after school. And she would always make me food, and it was a very happy place at Auntie's house.
Audrey was such a great person, and she was always giving and caring for others. She never cared for herself, and she was always making stuff or making sure you were happy and you were well fed and everything. Audrey, we love you and we're going to miss you so much.
When I was about 7 or something, I remember this really clearly, right? My brother and I were fighting over a packet of chips, and my dad told me that as a HARBHAJAN, it's your job to, even if you have wanted this thing your entire life or for a while, it's your job to give it to others if they need it or want it. Audrey was the epitome of that. There was not a single time I went to her house and she hadn't made about 5 meals for us and bombarded us with chips and snacks and everything. Audrey was caring, she was giving, she was kind, she was everything any of us could aspire to be. And we're going to miss her very much.
Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. We've got our final speech from Renil, but before we get to that, I'm just going to read a tribute quickly because I know Panditji said we need to be done by 10 past. So I'm just going to read a tribute from my sister in Australia. So she says, our sincere condolences, my sister Belinda from Australia. She says, our sincere condolences to Yuvan, Vernon, Vanil, Sam, Colleen, Keisha, and all the grandkids. Auntie Kavita was a special part of our extended family, and we will miss her dearly. She was a precious gem embedded in a heart of gold. There was a warmth and kindness in her that radiated on her face whenever we saw her or visited. She was quiet by nature, yet her love was always so palpable when we were around her. By heritage and marriage, our kids are not Hindi per se, yet they always had an Aji, and their dear Uncle Yuvan's, in their dear Uncle Yuvan's mum, Aji. She was Aji to everybody. Food was her love language, and many of us seated here today were recipients of that delicious, sumptuous, extensive love. She was so thoughtful and proficient in that love language that she knew and remembered everyone's favorite foods and ensured that she found a way to send anything she knew you would enjoy, like bran muffins or Christmas pudding for my mum or gammon for my dad, and much, much more. She was kind, gentle, and giving. In a world where there's jokes about mother-in-laws always doing its rounds, we are sure that my sister Sam was absolutely blessed to have Auntie Pravita as her second mother. I often heard Sam say her mother-in-law is one of her best friends. Auntie Pravita treated everyone around her with absolute love, equally and kindly. I see so much of this kindness, gentleness, love, and magnanimity in my dear brother, because saying brother-in-law to Yuvan feels too distant. So, my dear brother Yuvan, I also see his immense strength and that he inherited directly from his parentage, combining ingenuity from his dad with the kindness from his mum. Auntie Pravita was made the world a better place just by being exactly who she was. Despite the incredible loss for Euban, Vernon, Renil, and their families and extended families, I am at peace knowing that Auntie is now reunited with Nolan and Uncle, and I know she is loved, peaceful, and joyous in the afterlife. To our brother-in-law and son-in-law Euban, we may never be able to replace a mother's love for you, but know that you are loved and cared for beyond measure. Captain, my captain. Rest well, Auntie Pravita. Your legacy lives on in your three marvelous sons and all your beautiful grandchildren. We love you and we will never forget you, Archie. Love from Chico, Vida, Anne, Lawrence, Sureya, Chesavan, and the grandkids. We also have a speech from her niece in Johannesburg. Sorry. I'll just read it out. It's a short one. Her niece Usha from Johannesburg. Of the many blessings, however, great or small, to have you as an aunt was the greatest one of all. Namaste, my Kaki, a soft-spoken, calm and gentle lady. She had smiles to brighten up your days and countless memories of just pure joy in her soul. She gave unconditional love. I have fond memories of my Kaki welcoming me into her home with hugs and kisses. The tasty meals, love and laughter around the table with Kaka and the boys. My Kaki made the best biryani. She was special to me in so many ways, an aunt and a trustworthy friend. Special people do special little things to make others feel good. That's my Kaki. You have worked tirelessly, and now it's time for you to rest. Love you and always remember you forever. To Euban, Vernon, and Renil and your families, my prayers and condolences. Smile from your heart when you think of Mummy, for she will always be beside you. Lastly, and I think most importantly, I would like to call her baby boy, Renil, to give his final tribute.
Fine. Family, friends, colleagues, thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate everyone making the time out from your own schedules, your own working life, and paying a contribute to Mom. The speech was going to be really hard, so I might break down in between, but I'm going to do my best. I think Samantha did a really great job with whatever she said. It really just touched all of us, and whatever she said. I'm going to be repeating some of the things that she said, but on behalf of both the HARBHAJAN and the Raghubar family, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you for making this time to be here, especially coming home for the funeral, being here now. And it's not just about the sadness and the sorrow today. It's an acknowledgement and a celebration of her life, of what she fulfilled and what she did, and how she molded us into the people that we are today. Not one person will ever say that she said anything bad or she did anything wrong. Yes, she should get angry with us, but she'll forgive you in a second, because that's what her heart was. And the irony was she always had a heart problem, but she had a heart of gold. And in the last 2 years, she picked up cancer, and she had a stroke, and she fought. She fought so hard. We tried our best to be there for her. It's been an emotional roller coaster. We really tried as much as we could, and she fought. She stayed because she loved her family. She loved her kids, her grandkids, her daughters-in-law, Samantha, Colleen, Karisha. She really loved you guys. She loved you, Veer, Sayuf, Arav, Ayush, all of them. And some of you may not know, I was quite close to my mom. Although we were, sometimes, as how Samantha said, you just go to the house and you can just sit there in silence. But that was your place where you just knew you could just be calm. And she just, everything she said was just out of love. She loved Human so much. She loved Vernon, everything. Do you want something? If there's, sometimes I'll buy things for her, and then she'll say, no, don't. She'll actually want to give me something. Do you have enough at home? And I'm saying, no, this is for you. You don't need to worry about me. I'll take care of myself. But that was a person who she was. And in fighting this cancer, over the years, in the last 6 months have been really hard on us, and we could see the amount of pain that she was in. We had to be the best that we could for her, and we were there for her, but I just pray that it was enough, that she could see what we were doing for her. A mother is always someone who's resilient and has that strength, and she's done that. She's been there for us through all our difficult times. And she's always been going to be remembered as that person, encompassing that whole-hearted body of who she was. Something that, growing up, it was hard for my dad. We didn't come from easy, life was not easy. We came from humble beginnings. Dad built on what he was, being a teacher, and both my mom and dad worked really hard to get where they are. And sometimes Krish and I, we just ask ourselves, like, how did our parents do it? We come from hard backgrounds, but they just do what they need to do for us. They give us whatever they need to, and they just provide. And that's what our parents do. Don't ever take your parents for granted in whatever in whatever life has. Something that I always remember is that, with having 4 boys in the family, I know my late brother, he's no longer with us, obviously, but having the 4 boys, we actually made her, she would sit with her, we'd make fun, we'd make jokes, and I think if you come to the house, she won't just say hello, she'll say, how's it? It's just something that was her way of greeting us, and we used to have that communication with her. And I always remember that, and people ask, how can you greet your mother? But that's just how we greet each other. I think everyone in this room somehow has been touched by her care, her love, the way she just carries herself. And I think from the background, from Mommy's speech earlier, of where she came up, grew up, of how many people that she spent. She loved all her sister-in-laws, all her brothers. She loved all of them so much that the care that she had for them was always there. You could never see it slipping at any stage. She always loved them so much. And for some reason, she could remember everyone's birth date. Everyone's birth date was just something she remembered so much. In the last coming few years, it was a little bit harder for her, but she just had a way of remembering what the days were, the anniversary dates, the birth dates. Somehow she just remembered that. And when my dad left, my dad being a teacher, he left to Carolina, Mom held that house together, so like glue. She just made everything run, got us to school, got everything done. We always remember that and treasure that. And then how she managed to do that, I don't know, but she just was somebody who could do that. In terms of the food, I think everyone knows. I think sometimes people, like Kadisha says, she only married me because of my mother's pickle. So my mother made the best food. She made us anything that we wanted. And she just had that touch in her hand, and she just spoiled us for choice. She spoiled the grandchildren. It's just something that she had embodied in her. will always remember that. Always giving us what we want. Whenever I go shopping, she'll say, buy a ball for Yuvir, buy a ball for Sayed, buy a ball for Ayush, buy this for them, buy some sweets, buy that. She always thought of them. Even with whatever she had, she loved them so much. And even when she looked after my dad, I have the highest amount of respect for people who do that. My dad went through such a hard time as well, and she stood by him throughout his hardships as a strong, resilient woman. And she always cared for him. She gave him the highest respect. And all these people that do that on a daily basis, we just applaud people like that for what they do. My dad, something that I remember, my dad was a great person. He always acknowledged good things. He wasn't obviously emotional all the time, but something, when we were studying, all the boys, all of us together, you and Vernon, Nolan, and myself, something he told me before he passed away as well, when he was well. He said, "Don't thank me for anything for your studies or anything. It's your mother. Your mother woke up in the morning and she made your lunch. She made sure that house ran and made sure that things are going to be okay." And I couldn't believe my father said this, because he was a very tough man, but he saw what my mother was, for what she was, everything, making sure that the house runs the way it does. That's her heart. She just had this fondness for people. She loved getting along with people. All her in-laws all speak well of her, because everyone, if you speak about Grisha's mom, Samantha's mom, Colin's mom, they all are here today, and we appreciate how much of love that she provided to them and how much of love they provided to her. Mom made us who we are. She molded us into the person that she is. Both my parents did. And, now losing both of them, we just got to try and be better people and try and live up to them, to honor them the best way that we can. And as I said, sometimes she told me how much she loved her children, her grandchildren, her daughter-in-laws. The amount of love she had for everyone was it's just unmeasurable. So now she's with my dad and my brother in heaven. She'll be there, and we wish her all the love and happiness to get there. And I know it's hard, letting go, but we acknowledge all the great things that she is and all the great things as a mother should be. I can also never forget the times when, she always loved music, and her TV series, she'll be watching the TV will go carry on, and the TV will be watching her. She loved the Indian TV series, her movies, her music. We played some music for her earlier as well, just to say our final goodbyes to her. And all I can say is, Mom, we love you so much. We wish you well on this journey. You rest well, and you get the peace that you deserve. You so rightly deserve it, Mom. You've done everything for us. You've made us into the people and molded us, and not just talking about our immediate family, everyone that's around us. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done, and I hope that it's enough. And if there's any wrongdoings, that you forgive us. And I also just want to say, the last couple of months, to the families out there, sending the messages and phoning us, we really thank you so much. It's such a treasure to have family and friends, colleagues that have been doing this for so long, stood by our side and give us all that love, all that care. We really appreciate it. Just that call from someone and they ask you how's mom doing. We may not have taken the call all the time because we were obviously busy with work or something, but we made the time to, and you guys made the time to be here today and already talk to and give that love back to us. So we thank you so much for your care. And the final thing I want to say is thank you, Mom, for everything that you've done for us. We wish you a good journey up there in heaven. That's where you are going. We know it because you suffered so much here in the last stages, but you have to go up in heaven and be there with all the angels. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ranil. You've captured your mom's spirit so beautifully, and you definitely are that baby girl, that special baby girl that she never had, and you shared that very special bond with her. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the Panditji said it's at about 10 past. We are going to proceed with the final rites. I would just like to quickly ask if there's anybody in the audience who would like to say even one word, share one sentiment, share one. You don't have to come up if you're feeling awkward. You can sit from where you are. Um, is there anyone who would like to say anything before we proceed with the final rite? And please forgive me if we have not said thank you individually by name, but we thank each and every one of you for being here today. We thank you for all the love, all the tributes. We thank you for everything you've done. I see my friends Rohin and Avashi walking up to the coffin. Thank you, Ro, for being there for my mother-in-law when she was in Entebbe and helping with all the medical care. We love you guys. We appreciate everything you've done for us. Thank you to every single one of you. You are loved and you are deeply appreciated. And my final message to my mother-in-law, Auntie, I'm not losing a mother-in-law today. I'm losing a mother because that's what you are and that's what you will always be to me. I love you forever. Om Shanti Shanti. Shanti.
ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय नैनं चन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्ति आपो न शोषयन्ति मारुतम् ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 Varsansi Jirnani, Yetha Vihaya, Vani Grihanati, Naropadani, Yetha Sharirani, Vihaya Jirnani, Yanjani Samyati, Vani Dehi. Om Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. The bereaved family, relatives, friends, this world that we live in is called Mrityaloka, meaning the land of death. Although every one of us has got some sort of fear of death, what we must always understand and appreciate is that the soul, the Atma, is eternal. It is only this body that's made up of the 5 material elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, that dies, and the elements return to the sources from which they came. The soul, the Atma, in accordance with the karmic actions of the individual, will then attain a new body. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 23, emphasizes the eternal nature of the Atma, which is beyond the reach of material things. Sorry. Chapter 2, verse 23 states that this soul, this Atma, cannot be cut by any weapon, burnt by fire, wet by water, nor dried by the wind. Death is simply a change of body for the soul. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 22 states that just as a person casts off worn-out garments and puts on new ones, so the embodied soul will cast off this worn-out body and transmigrate to the next. Our saints and our scriptures emphasize the need for the family to do all the requisite pujas for the soul, as well as doing charitable acts on behalf of the soul. By doing all the requisite pujas for the soul, the family will assist the soul to attain the highest abode it can, and by doing charitable acts on behalf of the soul, the family will assist the soul by removing certain of its karmas that it has to work out during that journey to Bhagwanji's house. We're going to shortly be going into the antechamber to complete the last rites. If there's anyone who has not had an opportunity as yet to offer their floral tributes and pay their final respects, please come forward now. We're now going to afford the immediate family members a few moments to offer their rose and say their farewell. Immediate family members, please come forward now.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Family members, now please take this opportunity to offer your roses. Once you've offered your rose, please step back and give other family members a chance. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram, 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 Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram, 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 Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai 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 Jai Ram. All bearers, please come forward now. 6 pall bearers. Okay, pall bearers come here. Ask the Lord to please stand now. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma karshit dukha patvaget. Om sahano bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavare. तेजस्वी नागरी तमस्तु मां निर्विचारे. ओम शांति शांति शांति. राम नाम सत्य है.